Welcome to Real Deal. I'm Tara.
And I'm Jazelle.
And this week we are talking about Challengers, the 2024 film directed by Luca Guadagnino, written by Justin Kuritzkis. Interesting fun fact for those of you who might not know this, Justin Kuritzkis is married to Celine Song, the writer and director of Past Lives. So in other words, big year for throuple couples.
Yeah.
Throuple couples. I would like the third of them to come out and write their film, by the way. Step to the mic. I know you got something brewing.
And the real we are Past Lives truthers on this pod.
Oh, yeah. We are Past Lives truthers. I'm a Challengers truther, but we are at odds today in today's episode.
Hater Nation, stand up!
No, not Euphoria, the track by Giselle.
Okay.
That was a rap dig for those of you who are
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you... No, I didn't hate it that much.
No, that was crazy.
There was a score adjustment.
That was crazy. There was a score adjustment.
I bumped up my score.
I'm just thinking about Kendrick Lamar.
Oh
anyway,
my God.
If you're Canadian, I'm really sorry. And if you're a Drake fan, I'm not sorry. Anyway, let's dive into Challengers. Tell me about your viewing experience before we talk about... Oh, I guess I should talk about the plot first, right?
Yeah, so like, what's this movie about?
My bad.
Tennis player turned coach Tashi has taken her husband Art and transformed him into a world-famous Grand Slam champion. To jolt him out of his recent losing streak, she signs him up for a challenger event, close to the lowest level of pro tournament, where he finds himself standing across the net from his former best friend and Tashi's former boyfriend. Also, I would like to throw in here too, we just got a puppy.
We did. We do have a dog, you guys.
So you will be hearing her romp
We did
around.
buy a zoo.
We did buy a zoo.
Yeah. Not the movie of the day, but relevant to throw in there. We did buy a zoo.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, we know what the movie's about. Starring Zendaya, of course, Gorge, Levha, and then also Josh O'Connor. Who played
Patrick,
and then
Mike Fast. I don't know how to say
Feist.
that. As Art. Darnell Appling was the, what is it called when you? I'm gonna disappoint every sports fan ever. When you're just like reffing the game ref, the referee. My bad, you guys. The referee. I don't feel like for tennis it's got to be a different thing because he's like not standing around or anything. That is actually Zendaya's assistant. So
is that?
Yeah, it is. And Zendaya's assistant in real life.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
She be putting her people up. I love it.
She really do.
Yeah.
So I do have to say, I watched this just last night, so it's fresh in my memory.
Okay.
I've only seen it once, but I know, Tara, you've seen it twice now.
I did have
Tell
to
me
go see it twice.
about seeing it the first time and about the second time.
I think the second time, for me, it was really exciting to watch other people watch this movie.
Okay.
There's so many moments that I feel like, and obviously we're going to dig into spoiler territory eventually, but there's so many moments where I'm just like, oh, I can't wait for other people to notice that or watch that. Because it's intense, I feel like, off the bat. You're already starting with, I think, the beginning of the final match of the Challengers.
Yeah.
You know, the Tire Town fucking Challengers game or whatever. I don't know that much about tennis, you guys. I tried to play in high school, and when I found out that you had to run after the ball, I quit.
I get it.
Yeah, so it wasn't for me. But anyway, first time I watched this, I bought early release tickets because I was so excited. I saw the early reviews from South by Southwest, and I loved it. I loved what everyone was saying. I love Zendaya, and this is her first real movie star role where she gets to be the front of a film and not somebody's girlfriend or like, you know, Euphoria, where it's just not her story. So I was very excited to see this. The theater was packed. I had no trailers because it was early release. So they started that whole right away. I was like, thank God I don't gotta watch the trailer for Planet of the Apes the 100th time today.
You know what? Planet of the Apes fans, rise up.
I will be seated. I'm seated, but I don't want to see the trailer again. Like, I can't do it.
Is it Marley level yet?
No.
Is it Argyle level yet?
Nothing is Marley level. Marley was like,
I honestly don't
that was
think
crazy.
anything will beat that stretch of time where it was Marley and Argyle.
It was like, they did the Marley trailers for a year in advance, though.
Yeah.
Like, that was fucking, I was like, when is it coming out? So you can just stop. But anyway, yeah, full theater. I like Luca Guadagnino. I love Call Me By Your Name. That is one of my favorite movies ever. I know it's not Giselle's favorite, but She was looking at me. I was like, I'm sorry. I love that movie. I love it down. Like, I understand.
Oh,
sorry. Our cats are fighting. I understand why people beef with that movie. I respect it and I see that. I just love it anyway. Like, it's not like one of those movies I will defend to my grave. I understand why people don't like Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah.
I see that. I respect it. I hear it. I stand with you over here. I'm going to keep the movie on, though. Sorry. Okay. I loved Challengers. I love the intensity. Starting off, I love the score. And I love that we take a break from the score and you break right into the fucking iPhone. The iPhone noise had me jolted in the theater. I said, whoa.
I did the same thing.
Whoa, you guys, I ran to the soundtrack the other day. Why did they keep the iPhone ring in the soundtrack?
I hate them.
So in the middle of my fucking run, I was like, damn, who's calling me right now?
That's crazy.
It was so intense and fun and sexy without there being an actual sex scene. Mm-hmm. Not a prude, but I appreciated it because I felt like all the sex was on the court.
Yeah.
It just wasn't necessary.
Your Letterboxd score?
4.5.
That's crazy to me.
That hoe a 4.5.
Honestly, crazy to me.
Look at Activity from Friends. It's just you and King down there and this bitch who only watches La La Land. So I don't respect their opinion anyway because they watch La La Land like 3 times a day.
No, listen. I'm with her on it. That's my girl.
She was like, I don't love triangles anyway. I was like, that's not even a fair reason to give something a low rating. Okay. Why'd you fucking watch it?
No, I do agree.
What do you
mean? Just piss poor fucking.
I watch La La Land and I'm like, I don't like jazz. So 1 star. Huh?
Yeah.
You're not the target audience.
You gotta accept that you're not the target audience.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. Not every movie is made for you.
No.
You gave it a 4.5. I do want to know though, what was missing from this movie for you?
Oh.
Why did it get deducted that half star?
It wasn't fucking gay enough. It wasn't gay enough. It was too much subtextual gay. But I think that I thought something was going to happen in the sauna. I thought and I was wishing for it. You know what? What really interested me about the sauna scene is that Art's character is so submissive in most of this movie, and I think it's so intentional. I think he plays himself that way. I think I get the vibe that he's manipulative. And
well, 100% he was manipulative.
Right, but I think that a lot of like art truthers they're not out here saying that. But the sauna scene is the one time that you see him step to the plate as the man he actually is.
Yeah.
Instead of the man that's parading around waiting for everyone to do something for him.
That was the sexiest part. For me.
That was like...
Because when he was simping on that little bed, I said, stand up!
It's still cute, but like, baby, stand up. But when he was in there like, you don't matter to anyone. And he's like, not even to the biggest tennis fan in the world. Are we still talking about tennis? I said...
him down.
But that was what was missing for me. I think that all these relationships revolve around Tashi. Yeah. So maybe you don't have to fully flesh them out, but I think it would have been nicer to get another moment between them that wasn't like the sauna, like something that really finalized the tension that we have here. I did like I just touched the mic. I was gonna make that noise. I'm so sorry. I did like
Rest in peace, headphone users.
I'm so sorry. We gonna cut that part out. It's fine. I did like the Tinder moment in the locker room though. I loved that when he's like swiping and there's a man and you're like, oh.
Yeah, and he
confirmed.
Confirmed.
I was like, oh, rare.
Yeah.
But I think that was what was missing for me. I do think that there are some script moments where I was like, okay, like we could have really like done something here that we weren't doing it.
Yeah.
Not a 5. But I don't know the last time I gave something a 5, to be fair.
I would have to look back at my diary, because I can't remember. I've honestly, guys, I've been watching so many movies, I can't remember fucking half the shit I've seen lately.
Yeah, Jazz is crazy right now.
I wanted to catch up to a movie every day, and I did the damn thing. I'm caught up to a movie every day.
You're crazy for that. I think I gave
my mental health has suffered.
5. I think the Kurosawa High and Low's the last time I gave a 5. I didn't give Dune 5, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
I definitely did not.
We do love you here, Zendaya.
Zendaya, we do love you. Do I love you as my favorite actress? No. But I do love you.
There's room to grow.
I do think that she has, like, so much potential. She hasn't been in that many movies.
Yeah, she really hasn't been.
And like we said, this is her first, like, real role as a lead actress in a movie. So I think, like, TV acting and movie acting are totally different.
Yeah, and I think being rescued from the hell that is Euphoria, respectfully, I think every single one of those actors needs a little bit of, and listen, I'm not a fucking acting coach, right? So who am I to say this? But I think that being trapped in that universe for a while, I think all of them could use a little bit of time to adjust to, like, the big screen. I love Sydney Sweeney, and I can't say that I love the last few things that she's been in because of her performance.
Right.
So I would love
Jacob
to
Elordi?
see, not him. I think he's doing fine.
I think he's good.
I think he's good too.
I like Jacob.
I think he's good too.
What do you mean you don't like it? I love him.
Yeah, I think he's good. I would like to see more from him too, though. I would love to see a movie where he's the focal point of that, so I could really
love it.
Be the judge. But he was good in Priscilla. I liked that.
And he was good in Saltburn.
Yeah. I think Saltburn. I think Felix is a character that you could take out of Saltburn and put into Euphoria, so it doesn't feel too different from, like, what he normally does.
I get that.
But I'd like to see him in more.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Frankenstein.
Oh. You're telling me. You're telling me.
Him and Oscar
Nation
Isaac.
of the Undead, rise up! I really cannot wait for Frankenstein.
Anything with Oscar Isaac, I'm sad. What's that Ayo Edebiri quote where she was like, I'm sad. The theater employees are scared of me because I'm weeks and months early, but I'm still sad. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm already there. I'm in line at AMC right now.
I'm so excited. So, that being said,
not the 5-minute tangent.
Please. While I am so excited for Frankenstein, I was excited to see this movie too. Mm-hmm. Tara saw it before I did, so I was pretty hyped up. I really, really, really wanted to see it. I kept getting pushed off. Finally saw it last night, and honestly, I was a little let down.
Yeah.
I gave it a 2.5 initially. That was my walking out of the theater impression. Mm-hmm. But as I let it marinate, I did bump it up. I did bump it up to a 3. The things I loved about this movie, Trent Reznor. I am a fucking Trent Reznor fan. Trent Reznor also, if you don't know, 9 Inch Nails singer. He is, like, literally written some of the most amazing music. And if you don't know 9 Inch Nails, maybe you know Trent Reznor through his song Hurt, which was covered by Johnny Cash.
There's no way you've never seen a 9 Inch Nails logo in your life, at least, though.
Literally.
If you've been in an Urban Outfitters at any time, you've definitely, or like a Forever 21. There's no way you haven't seen
100%.
That.
But he did the soundtrack for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ooh.
And it was immediate. I didn't even know that he did the soundtrack, but immediately as they started playing it, I looked at King. I said, "This is fucking Trent Reznor. This is Trent Reznor." His sound is so iconic, and I love it. It's so fast, and, like, it makes your heart race.
Sexy.
It's sexy. One thing Trent Reznor is gonna do, it's be sexy. So I really love the soundtrack. Loved all of the soundscapes. It was so bars. Good. I did like, I'm trying to remember what I liked about this movie. No. Oh, I liked the angles. I thought that the shots were really dynamic. I thought they were interesting. Those below shots of, like, Zendaya and Art in the hotel room, I think it made something that would have been, like, kind of flat and maybe, like, an uninteresting part of the scene feel not flat and feel a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And then also during the tennis court scene, how I did like how whenever he would bounce the ball, they had, like, some sort of, like, plastic or glass over the camera. And so every time that they bounced the ball, it felt like it was bouncing at you.
No, I felt like Barry the Bee.
Yeah,
I was stuck on that hoe. Like,
yeah, for real.
I'm on the tennis ball.
And I know some people were saying on Letterboxd that it was kind of corny, that those tennis ball scenes where it felt like it was like a POV were really disorienting. I do see where they're coming from with that. It was a little bit, I thought that the parts where it was, like, his hand, I thought that was corny, but I did like the ball POV.
Yeah.
And I did like the guy who played Art, and I did like the guy who played Patrick. They were really good. However, moving on to the things I didn't like about this movie, Zendaya's performance feels really clunky to me. There's a particular scene where she goes and has a talk with Patrick in the alleyway, and she says some really fucking corny line like, "Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. What makes you think I would ever do that for you?" And then she walks away, and literally like every step is like this, and she's like swinging her hip.
Listen,
and I was
she was working that bobography.
Fuck ass Bob.
I loved it. It was sexy. It was sexy Bob in her Urbicia sweater.
I thought it was corny. I didn't like it. I thought it was so funny. And then there were 3 guys behind us, and then some guy said, "What the fuck?" And I was like, honestly.
No.
The theater that I saw it in, not the demographic, I do not think. But people did think it was funny. People were laughing at how, like, the delivery of the lines were. It did make me... Oh, I do have to say, I did appreciate also how Tara kind of briefly mentioned it, like the sexiness of the movie without needing like explicitly sex scenes.
Yeah.
Like the making out was hot enough.
Yeah.
You know, I did appreciate that.
The 3 of them in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm interrupting something.
Yeah.
Do I need to leave?
But just like, honestly, it was really Zendaya's performance for me.
Yeah.
And, I feel like it's just like this, I don't know, her acting in Dune also like evoked this feeling for me too, where I was like, I want to like her, but something about it feels like very childish.
Very one note.
Like very one note. It feels like someone who is giving me the line. She's delivering the lines, but with like maybe not as much intention and like spirit as I wish they had.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the guy who played Art and the guy who played Patrick, they had very sincere deliveries.
Yeah.
And but like Zendaya just didn't. She was like just Zendaya being like, "Oh, is that really how you want?" But I don't know. Just like her mannerisms feels a little robotic to me.
Yeah.
And I want her to like loosen up a little bit more and like really get into it.
I think I'm going to chalk it up to experience because I'm a Tashi Duncan defender, her character in the film. I love Zendaya so much. I think Hollywood can be so hard on her, but I do think Josh O'Connor and Mike, they have a lot of experience on top of this movie.
As actors?
Yeah, as actors. Yeah, Josh has been, I think he was in The Crown. The big ass ears. He played King Charles, I'm pretty sure. I think he was in Emma. Mike has been in Newsies.
Yeah.
That's a theater kid down. He was in the Spielberg West Side Story. They both have been in quite a few things. And I think for Zendaya, I just think we need a little more time. You know, I think we need some more time. I will say, like, as a script criticism, I do not buy Zendaya as a mom.
No.
And it's not like anything personal. I think it's just like she still looks so young to me. And I couldn't take myself out of the fact that I am watching Zendaya play Tashi Duncan. And I know Zendaya doesn't have a child. So.
Yeah, I didn't really feel that way. I thought that her age was fine to me.
Yeah.
I did think it was cute when her daughter was like, "I want to watch in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse." Yeah. I was like, oh, cute.
Giving big sister, though. Yeah. I didn't feel like mom.
Yeah. She didn't have a maternal vibe, for sure. But yeah, I think like, you know what I really liked Zendaya in? Euphoria. And I feel like maybe, and you know what else? Shake It Up. So
I like her in Spider-Man.
I think she does give a little bit of like Disney acting.
Yeah.
Just like very body expression, you know?
Yeah, I will say.
Like, I don't know.
I buy her in Spider-Man as MJ.
I did like her.
I will say that.
Yeah, but I also feel like the way that she's in MJ, she also kind of feels like she plays a lot of the same characters.
Yes, because MJ could, listen, nobody fight me on this. MJ could be Rue in like 10 years.
Yes.
Sorry, I know they're the same age, but like,
and you know what? I think MJ could be, what's her name? In Dune.
Chani.
I feel like she could be Chani in Iraqis.
Yeah,
and I feel like she could be her
similar.
if she was like what was Zendaya's character in this? Tashi. I feel like Tashi could be just like a parallel universe version of all of those characters if they just played tennis. I feel like she, and you know what else? Malcolm and Marie. She was also just like, she just like has like a like, not like a bitchiness is not the word that I'm looking for, but just like a jadedness and like
bitterness,
very bitter and over it, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a through line in all of her characters. And I feel like because I've seen her in all of those roles and I just want something different. And this feels very like a stagnant role for her.
I think it's the way she played it too. Because I think I have a copy of the script on my phone just because I like to see what they leave out and what they include. I have like Moonlights too and stuff just because it's interesting sometimes. There's a ferocity that I think is missing in Zendaya's performance.
Right. I feel like she needs to just exactly what I said earlier. Like she just needs to go there and like not be so stiff with it.
Like I'm almost there with you, but I'm not. I think maybe that is like part of my half star is that like I'm buying it, but not all the way like I could be. Where Josh O'Connor, that's a pathetic ass man right there.
Yeah.
Love him down. Art, submissive ass, manipulative little bitch, love him down. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I have such an understanding of Tashi's character from the script and from the movie, and I love Zendaya, and I liked her performance. I think it could have been better. Is how I feel. I think, but another miscast to me. I mean, this is very small nitpick. The casting of her mother, didn't buy that at all.
No, that also
I thought she was a babysitter.
Weird.
Like,
yeah, I really didn't like that. She did feel babysitter to me, and when she was like, "Bye, mom," and gave her a kiss when she was
that ain't your mama.
I was like, "Who is that?"
Like, I'm not buying into it.
She could have put her own mother in there, and I would have been like, "Okay, that was cute."
Yeah, because there was, like I said, Tashi is this character that is driven, and her only true love is tennis, and like she's fierce, and like girl's gonna do whatever she can. I don't get the vibe that like her mother had much to do with that. Like I just wasn't feeling it. And in the script it does say that like I think by the time they go to Atlanta for Art's game, her dad has passed, and so that's kind of the reason that she's sad. They took that out of the movie. But they do mention in the beginning like her dad is the reason that she's like so gung-ho about tennis. Like he's no joke about it. But I just wasn't buying that relationship. Those extra familiar relationships to me just felt like meh.
And the last thing that I want to add, like, as a negative for me for this movie, too, was the, like, whatever direction, whoever thought it was necessary to put, like, 3 weeks later, later.
It was
3
a lot
years in the past.
Of time
it was
jumping.
Overwhelming. It was time jumping. There were too many. I feel like they should have cut it down more. And I feel like we just saw it with not past lives, with Poor Things. The like jumping from different timelines makes sense and you don't have to explain it to your audience.
Yeah.
I feel like I see why they did that because they're like, oh, we want people to understand the timeline because sometimes it's really close together, like 3 weeks or whatever. But like you can tell. You can tell. Know. Your audience can infer what the timeline is, even if they're like, wait, what for a second? Let them say that. Yeah. You know?
I would like a little more faith in, and I will say, like, to a general viewer who doesn't watch that many movies, maybe you're not following along like that because, like, my boyfriend was not. He was like, dude, I got so confused. But for me, it's like, I don't know, you can tell by the haircuts alone when you are looking at this. Like, it's non-linear, sure. I guess that can be confusing, but, like, if you're paying attention to their haircuts, you know, the way that Tashi styled her hair was so indicative of, like, the era that she was in her life. Like, how much control she had over things going on in her life. And to me, that alone, I could tell, like, where we are. Like, if they're in the hotel room and they're talking about the game being tomorrow, then the game has not happened yet. Like, it's tomorrow.
And the majority of this takes place in New York.
Yeah.
And so I thought that the addition of it being, like, Rochelle, New York, I was like, why? Like, why did we need that? Why did we need that title card?
I think because that's where Patrick is from. And I think it's just talking. I mean, I also think it's unnecessary because that's not something that is so obvious that Patrick is from there. So I think it's trying to symbolize the fact that, like, he did all this and is still
He's still back at home.
Still back at home, sleeping in his car, driving from match to match.
I guess, but I feel like that's like down to the nitty grittiness. Like,
yeah.
I feel like that could be incorporated in the script.
Yeah.
To me, like, those are things that could just be incorporated in the script. When Patrick is like, are you going to be nice to me tomorrow? Like, okay, then I know that it's the day before the match.
Yeah, duh.
You know, and I do hear what you're saying with like for a regular audience viewer, but however, I do think again, like, it just underestimates the intelligence of the audience, because we did just see it with Poor Things, with all of the like time jumping and location jumping. So I was just like, okay.
No, I don't think it's necessary. Much love to everyone who was confused. To my man, I love you, but like, babes, look at the hair. Look at the hair.
Yeah,
the signs say Atlanta in big letters, so you know that they're not in New Rochelle. Mm-hmm. They're in Atlanta. Yeah.
So for all of those reasons, hey, after talking about this, I might give it a 2.5 again.
No.
I feel like it's like honestly, if I could give it a score, it'd be a 2.8.
No.
But so because it's over the threshold of a 2.5, I will give it a 3. You know, but it does.
Challenges truthers, we win again.
It does miss the mark for me.
Yeah.
So I did deduct those 2 stars. I pretty much, like, for all of my big points here, I'm deducting half a star.
Yeah. I understand that. I think for all of my little problems, there was so much that I really enjoyed. I also just love the character of Tashi Duncan. And I was saying this to Jazelle earlier, that I think it's so rare that we get, first of all, the media and the average viewer does not handle an unlikable woman very well.
No.
They just don't. You can't handle it. I'm seeing on Twitter all the time, give us unlikable women in media. You couldn't handle them.
No,
you couldn't handle them.
Talked about them.
You couldn't handle Princess Bubblegum. Do I like her? No. But that's because she's a fascist. It has nothing to do with everything else.
No less a real woman of color.
Yeah. So you guys couldn't handle an unlikable character. And Tashi's so fucking unlikable. Everything about her makes her unlikable. The fact that she's sexy, manipulative, knows exactly what she wants. I love that we get a black character that is unlikable. A black woman who knows exactly what she wants. And all she wants is to watch some good fucking tennis.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think her character absolves the other two of any guilt in the relationship that they've built, you know, in the lives that they've built around each other. I think that they're so deeply intertwined in one another. And I think that's why the final scene, because the second time I watched this, I went with family, and they were like, oh my gosh, I don't really understand the ending. And I was like, I think that that's the point, though. I think that the point is not that, like, it really matters who wins. Like, if you want to argue semantics, like, you cannot touch the net in tennis. That's the one thing I did retain. You're not supposed to touch that shit. So Art would have lost that set, which means they have to play another one because he's losing.
Yeah.
He could have still won, but that's not the point. The point is that they probably went to the hotel room and banged that one out because they're finally getting some good tennis. They're finally at their peak. They're finally playing the way that they used to when they were driven by each other. So I did really fuck with that. And I love that we get an unlikable black female lead.
I agree. I do think that this is a character and characters in a relationship dynamic that we don't ever see. So I think that was cool. And I think the last thing I have to say too is that, you know what, Tashi, I will defend you for this. I also think it's sexy when someone is passionate about shit.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You were horned up because you like the passion.
Yeah.
Me too.
I respect it. Your little male wife there doesn't play unless he's got a reason to.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Get him again. Get him again. I'm sorry. When they met in the parking lot and she spit in his face, I jumped.
Okay, that actually made me, like, disgusted.
I jumped. I thought she was going to hit him. And then she didn't.
I wished he would have punched her.
No, because I was like, okay, she spit in his face. Like, he's definitely going to leave. And then he smiled. I was like, you guys are fucking sick. You're sick. This is why you guys get well together, because you guys are fucking sick. And Patrick is the only person who matches Tashi's, I think, skill level. But he has no motivation. The guy's fucking lazy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be coached. He's arrogant.
I do have something to ask you. Maybe you know. Is he like a heroin addict?
No.
Why was he touching his veins?
I don't know. I didn't get that he was an addict at all.
He went like this he was rubbing his arm right here.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, me and Kingston were like, is he heroin? We were both like heroin.
I didn't get that at all. And I have to look over the script again, but I didn't see anything about that. But there was some very interesting unexplained injuries. I mean, in the beginning when you're seeing Art stretching and he's got like the marks on his shoulders too.
Yeah, what was that?
I just assumed that was
they looked like little scars.
Injury, but because they were saying on the TV that he had made a full recovery, but they never really say like what. So I don't know. I didn't get heroin from him. I got hungry and poor. The way he was looking at that bagel.
That's why I got heroin. But I guess heroin is expensive.
He's not even poor like that. His family has money. He just has too much ego to ask them. That's why she was like, you're parading around here.
She's like, go ask your parents for money.
I was like, womp, womp.
Yeah.
The way he was looking at that bagel was crazy, though.
No. Also, really she gave it to him.
No, I was like, girl.
A Dunkin' sandwich with the bagel.
Mm-mm.
If it was Cane's, you know what?
If it was Cane's, give me like a fry or something.
Yeah.
Let me bump something off of you. No, I'm not sharing my bagel, though. Especially if you're looking at it the way that he's looking at it.
No, that was crazy. Whoa. He didn't even make eye contact with her. And the way he was fucking around with all these people just to sleep in a hotel room was crazy.
No, when she called him on that, I was like, get him again. Oh my God. Because the woman in the hotel, that was a little... The way he just comes back and kisses her.
And kisses her.
And she kisses back.
She was like, who is that? He was just like, Plants went on her.
Stand up. Everyone involved, stand up. Please. Jesus. Except Tashi, girl, we know you're standing.
Yeah.
Everyone else stand up.
Yeah, so my final score, 2.8 out of 5. Tara, you're giving it a 4.5?
Sticking it with my 4.5. Alexis, as grandma says, and that's my truth, and I'm sticking with it.
Bless.
Thanks, guys, for listening to us debate about challengers. And as always, thank you for supporting us.
Yeah.
See you next week.